we had said that there's going to be a lot of ticked off people. There's going to be a lot of business owners that aren't going to be too happy. And there's going to be a lot of workers that wouldn't be happy if they lose their jobs. Well, looks like the auto manufacturers got together and had a little chat with Trump and expressed their issues.
Donald Trump made us think we made a mistake when he announced the 25% tariffs would go forward this past Tuesday on Mexico and Canada. We had predicted that he would keep extending the deadline until after the election began. Thankfully, he proved us right today by announcing that both Canada and Mexico would get another reprieve from tariffs until April the 2nd.
Let's take a look. From the Globe and Mail, Trump waives 25% tariffs on Canada, Mexico until April 2nd.
U.S. President Donald Trump granted most imports from Canada and Mexico a reprieve from punishing 25% tariffs until April 2nd, the latest shift in a constantly changing trade policy that has kept investors and allies unsure of what comes next. The executive actions come after a Thursday phone call with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and talks with Canada, including a Wednesday conversation with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The Canadian government is waiting to read the text of this new executive order before responding, a senior official said. Ottawa will likely postpone its second wave of retaliatory tariffs on $125 billion of U.S. imports once it confirms this, the official said. The Globe is not identifying this source because they were not authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Quote, that aligns with some of the conversations that we've been having with administration officials, but I'm going to wait for an official agreement to talk about a Canadian response and look at the details of it, end quote, he said. Quote, it is a promising sign, but I will highlight that it means that the tariffs remain in place and therefore our response will remain in place, end quote. Earlier this week, Canada announced 25% retaliatory tariffs on $30 billion in U.S. goods, with the same rate of levy to be applied to an additional $125 billion of U.S. goods 21 days later. Canada has also said it's considering further measures, including export taxes on goods such as potash. On Wednesday, Mr. Trump also walked back his tariffs on Canadian and Mexican-made automobiles for 30 days. A source in the White House told the Globe Wednesday this also covers Canadian and Mexican-made auto parts, although so far no written authorizations have materialized to verify this reprieve.
So, this is interesting because in our previous video, we showed the impact on the stock market of Trump's tariffs, which it made both the NASDAQ and the Dow and everything else take a complete nosedive, losing almost $2 trillion.
That's a lot of money.
$2 trillion in share value from the U.S. economy. So as we look at this and how it progressed, we had said that there's going to be a lot of ticked off people. There's going to be a lot of business owners that aren't going to be too happy. And there's going to be a lot of workers that wouldn't be happy if they lose their jobs. Well, looks like the auto manufacturers got together and had a little chat with Trump and expressed their issues because they ended up getting a 1-month reprieve yesterday. Evidently, a bunch of other people sent some messages to the White House, and now all of a sudden that this is going to be a reprieve until April 2nd. So, very, very interesting. But this kind of aligns with what we've been saying. But the problem is for Trump, it doesn't look good on him because he keeps flip-flopping on what he's doing, and investors, businesses, industry, and the economy doesn't really know what to expect from him. And this is not good for the American economy, never mind the Canadian economy. So you need stability and predictability when you're looking at, dealing with the economy in general. And this is anything but, and it's being caused by their own president. So that's an issue. Now, how does this relate to things here? We've heard some announcements by Justin Trudeau, and that he's going to be, continuing to fight against this and do whatever he says he's going to do until his next successor is chosen. That was from a press conference today. But this isn't stopping people from putting out disinformation that Trudeau has all of a sudden said that, oh, I'm going to stick around and I'm going to remain prime minister. He hasn't said that. And he's not going to say that.
And we actually addressed this in a previous video if you want to check out how the transfer of power works. Not only when one prime minister is stepping down and they're electing another one within the same party, but when government changes as well. Right.
So there's going to be a lot of disinformation out there about this, folks. And we mean disinformation as in deliberate. So be wary of that. Make sure you look at the whole context of a video. Make sure you look at the transcript before you jump to believing anything that you see posted on the internet. There was one tweet out there that literally said Justin Trudeau admits that he's not stepping down. I watched like the 30-second video. It says nothing in there about it. So I have no idea. I have no idea what these people are thinking when they're posting this stuff. But as we've said, be vigilant, folks, because this is going to get worse and worse and worse in terms of the disinformation, the sensationalizing, the misinformation, all of this stuff.
And it's going to get even worse once the electoral writ is dropped and we're in the election period. So stay vigilant, stay prepared.